What is going on, everybody? This is Dave and welcome back to Wolves Weekly, another installment today of the videos that we just talk about everything that's been going on in and around the Molineux for the past 7 days or so. As always, your support is very much appreciated. If you want to smash the like button down below again and click the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you are notified every time we upload on the channel. I was making the notes for today's video and there seems to be a lot to talk about. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump straight into it. So we're going to kick off with the question of the day from last week. If you haven't watched this before, I always ask a question of the day to get you guys involved in the comment section down below. And last week's question was, what was the best game that you've ever been to? We have plenty of answers to this, as always. Apologies if I can't read yours out, but if you do want to go and see what everyone else was saying, go and check out the last video. So, Scotty WWFC, he says the best game is probably the 6-4 win over Rotherham. Such a high tempo, end-to-end goal fest on our way to securing the League One title. Eddie Fong said in 1975 he was 10 years old and lucky enough to see Wolves thrash Chelsea 7-1, which sounds absolutely crazy. George Horton said 2-1 versus Manchester United in the Premier League season 2010 to 2011. Jerry Gaboni said very difficult question. There's been a few, but Wolves beating the then current double winners Arsenal 5-1 on Boxing Day in the 1971 to 72 season when he was 14 back then. That era was the best team he ever saw, and they should have won more silverware as well. Sam HD said Wolves 4, Fulham 4. First ever Wolves match, but the atmosphere was amazing and we kept him on the edge of his seat till the end of the game. What a game that was. But as always, guys, I really appreciate all the comments on that one. And make sure you listen out for the question of the day this week as well. But we're going to jump straight into all the transfer news and transfer rumours that have been going on. We've got a big list of all the ones here. If you've heard any other rumours that I don't mention today, make sure you put those in the comment section down below as well. We're going to start off, though, with Courtney House, who is set to sign a new contract at Wolves. But there is also talks of him being loaned out. So obviously the news of a new contract means they're not looking to actively sell Courtney House. But Middlesbrough, Preston and Millwall are all rumoured to be interested. I think it'd be a shame for him to be loaned out. I suppose if he's not in the plans to stay in the starting 11, I think there may be, but he's a very decent defender. He came on, had 2 decent cameos. One obviously against the Swansea, in the Swansea game, he was pretty solid. And the other one obviously had a few minutes against Brentford in the league. Wolves have also rejected an approach from an unnamed club for Cameron John. He's an under-23s regular and he's earmarked one for the future in the Wolves Academy. So straight away they've said no to that. I read it was a 6-figure deal. So a pretty hefty amount for someone that we've not really seen in first team action yet, to be fair. Obviously, Rafa Mir was confirmed last week. We mentioned it on the Wolves Weekly, and then on the same evening, he was confirmed by Wolves. So that has all gone through now as well. He'd also said this week that Valencia had rejected several Real Madrid bids before he decided to move to the Championship to join Wolves as well. Another defender looks like he may go is Roderick Miranda, not being at the club too long, but Wolves have already rejected an approach from Braga for his services. He's not started a game since October, and obviously he's found it tough to break back into the team. Bolly, Cody and Bennett all making those places their own at the moment. But as I say, Rafa Mir being confirmed and maybe one going back out towards Portugal, perhaps Miranda. As I say, Jack Price, though, he has confirmed his move over to America. The news broke sort of Saturday evening when he wasn't in the Wolves side that he'd flown over there. He's gone over to America to join MLS side Colorado Rapids, the same team that Kevin Doyle had joined when he left Wolves. 25 years of age. I think it's hard to reject that sort of deal, to be honest. You're in a good team, but it's a team you're not really breaking into, and an offer comes from America at the age of 25. I think it's very, very hard to turn down, if I'm being honest. And probably if I was in this situation, I would have done the same thing. Wolves were also linked with Lewis Graben as well, but that more or less has been dismissed now. But I did see news earlier on that we may have reopened talks, but I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that one. I wouldn't want it to be a permanent deal, if I'm being honest, Lewis Graben, but I'd take him on loan. Today as well, Lee Evans completed his move from Wolves to Sheffield United. He was on loan at League One side Wigan, but Wolves have recalled him and then sold him on to Sheffield United. He's never really been a first well, he never really nailed down his first team spot at Wolves, and obviously he's now moved on to pastures new. And obviously a ridiculous rumour that came about yesterday, it's more or less been dismissed by Tim Spears, is that Wolves had a massive bid of around £35 million rejected for Andre Silva, the AC Milan striker. Full stop, that would have been a ridiculous move, and that's something the top 4 or top 6 should be aiming at. But for us to be looking at that is ridiculous. Just 22 years of age, already has 11 goals in 18 for the Portugal national team. He had a really good stint at Porto under Nuno, but he is yet to score an AC Milan league goal. However, he's doing quite well in the Europa League in goal-wise, to be fair. Wolves were also linked with Andrea Pinamonti, but not much has come of that in recent days. Also, a link was with Wolves for Samuel Bastian from Chievo Verona. He was linked, but any deal would will more likely be a loan with an option to buy. Obviously, him being a central midfielder, and a loan deal would probably mean we'd have to make one of our current loans permanent. And finally, Prince Oniange moved on to French side, and is it Angers or Angers? He moved there on loan until the end of the season. So that was plenty of transfer news. There was also Robbie Keane linked. It was after, again, I'd uploaded this video. Someone had commented about it. What do you think of the Robbie Keane rumours? So Tim Nash did quite a big story and quite a serious few tweets about Robbie Keane apparently being ready to rejoin Wolves. Apparently he was going to join in summer, but that never came about. So apparently now he's ready to pay off his release and join Wolves. However, again, that has gone really, really quiet over the last few days. Even apparently Tim Spears said there was nothing in it. Matt Murray, who's apparently a good friend of Robbie Keane, said he's not coming here. So I'm not too sure what that rumour was about, or is he just trying to sell a few articles as well. So earlier on, I put on Twitter a reminder basically that the Wolves Weekly was out today, and if there was anything that people wanted me to discuss on today's video, Matthew, his Twitter will be popping up on the screen. He said, "What do I think of the fans? I think we should up our game. The team has done exactly that this year, and why can't we? We can't stay outdated. We need an update. Even at the end of the games, the players are always going to clap a quarter full of stands, and I don't understand why we always leave the games early. I think we could do some sorts of tifo things and bring us in. I don't know where my words are going. I'll bring in choreographies into the stadium, just like the big stadiums in the Champions League, I'd assume, or even holding up our scarves. Just think of the South Bank looking like the BVB wall. I think this would be amazing, and even to have it by next year when we will hopefully be in the Premier, to not only show off to the big teams who are on the pitch, but even off. Man, that was a bit of a mouthful. But Matthew, I really appreciate the kind words. Appreciate the words to obviously come onto the video today. So my thoughts, and obviously I'm going to extend this out to you guys. I've never really had much of a problem, especially when we're playing well. I'm enjoying the football. I'm personally enjoying it. Obviously, when the atmosphere is 100%, that is just a bonus and added to the ticket price. Really, I pay my season ticket to watch football, not necessarily just for the atmosphere and so on. So anything to do with the atmosphere is always a bonus. Now, I've heard murmurs and I've seen it on Twitter, a lot of people moaning regarding people in the North Bank where people are leaving early and fans aren't really liking that. But I think people have got used to the fact that we're winning, and the atmosphere at times is quieting down. The main thing I think that doesn't help as well is that the away fans have moved up to that top part of the North Bank. It's so hard to create any sort of banter or atmosphere against another team, against an away side. So I think that doesn't help. And I know it's either security and so on, but I think it did help when they were down the bottom part of the thing. But I think they're getting more Wolves fans coming with the bottom half of the Steve Bull Open. So you've got to see it from both sides, and it's quite difficult to see. Now, I saw a video from Tom Rouse, the old Gold and Black channel who he's featured on here before, where during this week he actually said, "Is this the end, or should it be the end for Hi-Ho Wolverhampton, the chant at the start of the game?" Now, you see he said in the video, basically, you see all these teams, Liverpool with You'll Never Walk Alone, all these sort of teams, the Liquidator and stuff that Wolves won't be able to have. And they got this chant where they're singing like full on for 1 to 2 minutes, just getting into the heads of the opposition. And we've never really had that in Hi-Ho Wolverhampton. I mean, a lot of people are against it, but a lot of people are for it as well. And it'll be interesting to see that on that front. And I think that always helps with the atmosphere throughout the rest of the game. But as I say, I think things don't help when the away fans have been moved. I think people are getting almost quite comfortable with this winning game, so don't really feel the need to get out of the way and like shout at the players. The issue with fans leaving is always a really, really hard one, I think. I think with again, it's sort of outside things that have affected it. But obviously with the road closures now around Wolves, I think people just want to get out early and try and get out in the cars. And when the result's almost a done deal, then yeah, but it is very hard. But I'm going to extend this. This is the question of the day. What do you think can be done to improve atmosphere during games, even when we're winning matches? And let me know. And obviously we'll all talk about this. We could talk about this so much more. This could be a video on its own. But the link for Tom's video will be in the description, where he talks about sort of the Hi-Ho Wolverhampton thing. And obviously I'd love your thoughts on this one as well. But again, if anyone ever wants me to debate stuff like this, Matthew, I appreciate that a lot. Again, all the tweets popped up on the screen, so you can see Matthew's Twitter and stuff as well. But yeah, cheers for that. So now we move on to the game at the weekend. Wolves drawing 0-0 to Premier League side Swansea in the FA Cup, and it was really the tale of the red cards. 2 red cards in the game, 1 for either side. Ruben Vinagres at first look did not look like a red card. I don't think anyone in the stadium thought it was, but yeah, watching the replays, it definitely was, unfortunately. I think he didn't mean it, not intentional at all, but he was unlucky for Ruben Vinagre. And then the second half, Leroy Fer got a red card, and that was... I laughed at that when I was in the stands. I said, that's just a straight booking. That's all it is. And then he gets out the red, and I was astonished. But obviously that's been overturned now as well, Leroy Fer's red card. So he may well play against us next week, obviously in the replay. If you guys haven't grabbed tickets to the replay yet, I mean, it's difficult because I think if you're at school and stuff, you might have to nab a few hours off. But it's free travel. It's definitely worth going. I know the distance is quite a lot, but you could just go to sleep on the coach on the way back. I'm going to be going, so it'd be really cool if any of you guys are going to let me know and we can say hello next Wednesday. They've upped the allocation to 2,000 now. It's definitely worth going. I think the tickets are really, really good value as well. If you've got a season ticket, you can get a discount off those. So let's get them sold. Let's get that crowd sold out. Will Norris as well, after his clean sheet, the 24-year-old has gone 5 matches and 480 minutes of football without letting a goal in from 1 FA Cup and 4 Carabao Cup appearances. I think it's a record for any goalkeeper that's played for Wolves, 5 games now without conceding a goal. And obviously the FA Cup draw happened as well, where Notts County are going to be the team that either Wolves or Swansea face. Really decent local-ish game for the Wolves fans. I think that will be a cracking game as well if we get through past Swansea. And on paper, we should beat them. That'd be a really good way to get into the 5th round and obviously play a lot of the big boys. I said as well, looking at the draw, a lot of Premier League teams, a lot of Football League teams are sort of all against each other. Sort of the same leagues all against each other. And I think there'll be a lot more Football League teams again in the 5th round of the FA Cup. As always, though, we got a match review from Mr. Finners after the Swansea game. If you ever go to a match and you want to leave a match review, if you go to the Barnsley game this weekend, then let me know. And until next time, let's see what Finners has got to say.
What's up, guys? Finners here again, this time reviewing the Swansea game. Again, it's really hard to know what to say. The red card did ruin the game for me, really. When I was watching it at the time, really didn't look like a red. Watching it back now, I can see why he's given it. Second one, I really don't know how he's given it, unless he's seen it as a kick out or something. I reckon that'll get rescinded for the second leg. But I am excited to see how we do at the Liberty. I remember they knocked us out the Thingy Cup, the Young Kids Cup, whatever it's called, Checker Trade last year. So to get a bit of revenge back there would be nice. Hopefully I'll be there as well. I thought Morgan Gibbs-White was incredible before he came off. Really looking forward to seeing him in the second leg. Bright missed a few chances, but it did show flashes of brilliance. Typical Bright performance. Costa looked great. Mears' long-range shooting doesn't look great, it's fair to say, but as an aerial threat, it looked promising. And Dye did amazing after the sending off to control the midfield almost on his own. Admirable performance. I thought House was incredible again. I don't know how he doesn't get in the first team. For me, it would be Bolly, Cody, House as a back three with House on the left, Bolly on the right. But yeah, it was just, I thought the red card ruined the game. After that, we did really well to grind it out. and can't wait for the second leg, and I'll be reviewing that one soon for you. Peace.
So absolute legend for that match review. And obviously Wolves, we're hoping now they'll get the win next week. So with me going to the match next week, unfortunately there won't be any Wolves Weekly, but there will be a match day vlog next Thursday, hopefully. And along with all the other videos as well. Keep your eye out for all different types of videos that are going out on the channel. Most of the stuff nowadays is all Wolves related. I'm doing little simulations for possible transfers that are going through. But it's going to be another interesting week. I'm sure our Wolves going to take another punt for Andre Silva. Let's wait and see. But until next time, guys, make sure you smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time, I'll see you all very, very soon.